Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Rosie Rosette 2020, and today is July the 25th, 2020. Okay, so I just saw an article that there's going to be a lot of Caribbean resorts that are opening up soon. And guess what? We're not invited. No, we're not. I think we can travel, Americans can travel to Mexico. But Cuba, which I want to go to Cuba. I think we can't go to Europe. I don't think we can go anywhere. I think maybe, possibly, we'll be able to go to Bali soon, Indonesia. But like, where our passport is like not welcomed in a lot of countries. And I just think that it's just really karma. I think it's karma because, Americans were so entitled, and, we go to other countries and we act a fool and we expect everything to be up to American standards. And, oh, I could never, I've been to some places. I think when I was in Cambodia and I took a picture of, the toilet, which is on the ground, and people were like, oh my God, I could never, and da 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 da. Okay, well, fine. You stay home. Now that you guys, have to stay home, it's like, oh my God. I'm talking about people who travel in the travel groups that I'm in. Someone wrote, oh, it's my 50th birthday and I was supposed to be in Africa or Jamaica or somewhere like that. And I was like, guess what? Jamaica will still be there. Don't worry about it. Jamaica's not moving anywhere. And she, responded with, well, that's a time stamp or a benchmark in my life or something like that. Okay, well, guess what again? If you can make it to 51, which a lot of people, 148,000 people have not made it to the next day, Miss Thang, then you can go back. See, Jamaica, Africa, they're not going anywhere. I know Africa's a continent. I know that. You guys do not have to, correct me. I've been there. I've been to 2 countries in Africa, so I know. So for you travel, mongers who are looking at this, video, do not put Africa's continent, okay? All right? You got that? Don't try it with me. Anyway, I just think it's very funny and hypocritical. Because now we can't use that beautiful, $100 booklet to get all over the world. We can't walk around as if we're, Americans and, we're the best thing walking and you need to speak English even though I'm in your country. I was like that in Senegal, in Africa. It's like, well, somebody's gonna have to speak English. Actually, I've traveled all over a whole bunch of places, and people are like, well, how did you get around? Because, people don't speak English. That's okay. They speak money. But now that money doesn't even matter. We can't go anywhere. There's a lot of countries, excuse me for adjusting my wig, but there's a lot of countries who don't want us. Remember, do we hear Trump saying anything about that wall? I think he went to go visit the other day and he said something like, oh, I'm happy that this portion is up or whatever. But you don't hear about anybody, talking about that wall right now. Why? Because I don't even think we are Mexican. We are welcome in some parts of Mexico. I don't know if all of them. I don't know if the border states or whatever. I don't know. But it's a whole lot of places in the world that Americans can't go to. And I just think that it's funny. It's funny right now. But, if this keeps going on, if we won't be able to, go places for years, then it's going to hurt me a bit. It's going to hurt me a bit. But, I'll get over it. As long as I'm, able to one day get somewhere or whatever. But hopefully this will make us really appreciate the benefits of being American and how we are able to travel so many places that so many people around the world have to go through so much to get places. I mean, like, I don't know if we're allowed in Jamaica. No, I think we are because I have a friend who just left today. But in order for Jamaicans to travel to America, It's very expensive. Why? Because they have to pay a lot of money to get the visa. And Jamaica is somewhat corrupt. So, they may pay and they may turn down, their application, but they won't refund the money. And money comes very hard in Jamaica. Jamaica, I don't think it's a wealthy country. It's not a wealthy country. I mean, but people, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So if you ever go to Jamaica, please get off of the resort. Try, if you can, go to the locals and buy there. Go to the local restaurants and buy. Go to the local beauty shops and buy there. To the people, the black owned businesses in Jamaica. Go to that local, stand and, have them help you and make sure that you tip. You see what I'm saying? Make sure, even if it's not, presented, just scoot them a little something or whatever. Because again, money is very hard to come by in Jamaica. And I understand that they, get paid at the resorts, but literally, they are not getting paid much. I'm not saying that we're getting paid much. In America, in Silicon Valley, where rent is $4,000 or $5,000, and they want to give $1,200 for 3 months. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But going back to the passport, hopefully by other countries denying our passports, maybe in the future when we are able to travel like we were before, maybe we will reconsider that attitude. We will reconsider that entitled attitude that most of us have when we go over to the countries that have less. I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, I can't stay in something like that. Oh, why can't you? Well, is it going to hurt you? See, we go over to other countries expecting them to be American, to have American standards and, American running water and American food and, American standards. But it's not America. That's what happens when you have that little blue book. It's called a passport. It allows you to pass through a journey away from America. So anywhere that you go, basically, almost anywhere, things are going to be different. So you need to open up your blinders and take what you see and be humble, because what's going to happen is what's happening now. Anything can happen. A pandemic where everything is taken away. See, we're still happy that we have food. We can go to the grocery store and get food, toilet paper. We have running water. We have electricity that doesn't go out every other day. See, things like that, to some people who've never been anywhere, you take for granted. But if you would obtain a passport and go somewhere where it's a hardship to get running water or to have, a toilet in every household, or to be able to go to a market and have an abundance of food that you can shop for, or toilet paper. See, you go some places in Europe and you go to a public restroom, which is free in America. You go over to Europe or some other countries, you have to pay to go to the restroom. And believe me, when you're on those tours and you have to do number 1 or number 2, and you don't have that change, that $1 or whatever, you'll understand when you get home how privileged we are as Americans. But see, we take it for granted. And I haven't been the same since, trying to see. What trip really changed me? I'm going to say when I went to Southeast Asia. When I went to Bangkok, Bangkok was okay. But when I went to Cambodia and to Vietnam, and I had to catch the train from Bangkok to Cambodia. Well, Thailand to Cambodia. The train was like, it was like a 5-hour ride, but it was only like, I think it was $3. I think it was $3 their money, or I think it was a couple cents. Okay, I'll say it was $3, to do 5 hours. That's like going from Northern California to LA for $3. No, it was cheaper than that. I think it was like 86 cents, 90 cents or something. It was something dirt cheap, but it was no air conditioning, like it was wooden seats. The guards had AK-47s, and they were checking everyone's, papers or whatever, except for mine. They never checked mine or whatever. And then going through the Cambodian, border, from Thailand to Cambodia, there's a whole, structure, and, if they stop you at the border and they want more money, you have no choice. They didn't stop me. What they did is they took everyone's, passport, because, we were on a tour or whatever. They take everyone's passport, the bus people. I guess they pay them their little side or whatever so that they don't harass us. And that's the culture. Okay. When in Rome, you have to do as the Romans do. I wanted to, travel through West Africa. And, I asked people in a couple groups, a few people say, yeah, go ahead. Others who were natives and, have been there, they said, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's too much corruption. But that's how they get down. Now, I understand, with the little kids in, Mexico, or who need to sell, they need to sell because they need to make money for their families. No, it's real, okay? If those kids don't make money for the families, it may be allegedly that, the family has to sell the kids for sex or, whatever. To be slaves or, whatever. This is real. So, when you guys have that attitude, it's really sickening to me. It's really sickening because there's people all over the world who would love to be in America, who would love to have the riches, even the riches that the poor people have in America. It's still an abundance to others around the world. That's why when they come to America, they're so successful. They start with nothing and they end with big, huge mansions in the hills. So with all that's being said, when this ban is lifted and you guys go, especially you people who've never been anywhere, get your passport. Go to other countries. And it's cheap to go, You can get a cheap airfare for dirt cheap. I'm going to start another channel regarding travel to go on a budget. I'm not paying $20,000 to go on a trip to a safari to Africa. I'm not doing that, okay? And I will go on a safari in Africa, but I'm not paying $20. Actually, my son went to South Africa on a safari, and I think he paid $300 or $400 just to go on the safari. It wasn't $20,000. But once this is over, hopefully you guys understand, that we are not as privileged as we seem. Well, I guess, no, we are as privileged. But when you go and travel other places, it tends to humble you. I'm very appreciative of just the simple things. Although I'm a hoarder and I like an abundance of makeup, of wigs, of clothes, of shoes, of cars, of men, of, whatever. I appreciate every simple thing that I have, whether it's from Neiman Marcus or it's from the Goodwill or on the street. I appreciate everything. And hopefully after this pandemic, you will too. Go and travel.